Welcome back, Beacon Park families. We are so excited to meet you. I'm Mr. N.
I'm Mrs. Gregg.
And I'm Mr. Waslaki, and we are your fourth grade team for this year. We say team because we like to collaborate all the time with one another, and we hope your students will experience that to the utmost degree this year.
So we do back to school night just a little bit differently here in fourth grade. We like to flip it upside down.
So what does flipping it mean, you might be asking yourself?
That's a great question, Ms.
Yes.
Waslaki.
So flipping it means instead of you guys, the parents, coming in and seeing us stand in front of the classroom and give a presentation, we send you all that information on this video you're watching right now. So then when you come in, it's more kind of like a laid-back atmosphere. So you're mingling with all the parents, getting to know the teachers, and just kind of having a more relaxed evening.
After you watch all these videos, you'll have an opportunity to come in that evening and just have conversations with us and ask us questions. And we get to meet so many more parents this way, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful evening.
So if you have any questions as you watch our video, feel free to email us or bring them to Back to School Night, and we'll be happy to answer them there.
Yeah, and when you meet us that night, make sure you let us know who you are and who your child is, so we can put a name and a face together right away. We've done this a couple years in the past. I'd say it's pretty successful.
I'll never do it the other way again.
Nope, nor will I.
Okay, so we're going to jump right into what we would have normally done during our presentation at Back to School Night, and we're going to go over our curriculum. So are you ready? We're going to start with language arts.
Okay, so we will be using a program called Benchmark for our English language arts, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but we will also be doing novel studies. Our first novel study will be the book Wonder by R.J. Palacio. We do have some of these books, but if your student wants to bring in their own book, you're welcome to do that. You could purchase your own on Amazon if you want to, so you could take notes inside the book and mark it up and do whatever you need to do to be successful in class. There's also going to be a movie coming out on Wonder, I believe in November, so it'll be a great end to our unit, and we'll be reading Wonder in about the second to third week of school. We'll get started. We will also be reading Island of the Blue Dolphins and By the Great Horn Spoon this year.
2 fourth grade classics.
Yes.
All right, so this is Greg talked about Benchmark. This is our, well, they won't get this. The kids will get this book right here. It's very thick, as you can see here, this thick textbook here. This is for our textbook adoption of the program called Benchmark. This is the very first year Benchmark is going to be implemented district-wide. Last year here at Beacon Park, we did this program, so this might seem a little bit familiar to you. So the kids, we go through these stories throughout the weeks. Usually the units are about 3 to 4 weeks long, and so there is an online component as well through Clever that you'll have access to along with your child. So we're really excited about Benchmark and just the places it'll take us. We talk a lot about main idea, inferencing, drawing conclusions, and details. So,
Right. So your fourth grader, this is a whole new ball game for them. They're coming from primary where they're learning a lot of phonics instruction and spelling. And here in fourth grade, you have to take it to another level. So in these stories that they're reading, they're not just pulling out facts anymore, right? In fourth grade, you have to take it to the next level, and they have to start inferencing. Well, what was the motivation for this character doing that? How can you infer that the meaning of what is being said? It's a whole new level of understanding and comprehension. So we really focus in on reading. In the fourth grade, we use something called Reader's Workshop, where your kids will be independently reading a book, which was a great segue, isn't that? Like, your kids always need to have a book to read. So whether they get it from our library here, or you go to the local library, or you head on down to Barnes & Noble, your kid always needs to have in their possession a book to be read.
or read. To read at some point.
They need to be reading a novel with words in it at all times, because we break out into these readers' workshops and they're out there reading independently, and we're pulling in little small groups to be working on individualized direct instruction. So Reader's Workshop, very important. Make sure your kid always has something to read.
Yeah, we're not talking about like one of those, like my 3-year-old daughter, she likes these books. They're like really large and there's like 6 words on a page and a lot of
And you
pictures.
open it up and
Yeah.
it pops open.
Yeah. Not talking about that. We're talking about actual novels, as Mr. M was talking about, to really expand their reading.
Yeah. Once again, your student, your child is now in the upper grade. They are no longer in primary. So it is time to raise your game, guys. Raise your game.
Step your game up.